Hello, everybody. I toast to you. Oh, let me open it. I toast to you and all you do. I hope you're having a fantastic evening. Springtime, so my evening videos that I record will now be in the light. It'll be like half the year in dark and half the year in light. It's a little less witchy because it's not dark, but whatever, it's fine. Today, I want to talk about mental temples. I have another video on mental temples. I made it quite early in my channel. I'll see if I can link it and figure out how to do that. But if you've ever noticed, I don't edit my videos. They just go straight from recording literally to upload. Very rarely do I watch the videos. In fact, very rarely. I had made another video about the same thing that I'm talking about today, and I rewatched it, but I was so tired when I made the video. It was so late that I looked exhausted, and it was funny. I was like, wow, you can totally tell the difference between the videos I make in the morning and the ones I make in the evening, because my eyes, I have that, you just can't hide the tired. I get that sunken, poofy eyeball thing. So I did rewatch that one. I was like, oh, I can't do it. But that's why I don't watch any of them, really, because if I watched my videos, then I would find all of the problems. I'd be like, I can't watch it. It's got to go. And then I would never record anything. So I don't. I just upload them because that's what I need to do. Anyway, so I will try to figure out how to link the mental temple video, or at least maybe I'll put it in the comments so that way it'll be there. I can do that for sure. Anyway, so let's talk about mental temple. Your mental temple is that place in your brain, in your subconscious. It's kind of like where your subconscious and your conscious mind meet. They come together and they create your space. And we call it a mental temple, but it doesn't necessarily take the form of a temple. Everyone's mental temple is different. And today, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about growing your mental temple. So I have spent a lot of time in my mental temple over the years, and it continuously is evolving and growing. Just as your practice and your life and your world change, so does your mental temple. And that's kind of how it's meant to be. Because it is like this space is your medium between you and the spiritual realm, between you and anything else. I guess I kind of think about it like the Matrix. You know, when they first plug him into the Matrix and they're in that holding zone and it's that white area. And he's like, this is the loading zone. So your mental temple is the loading zone. It is that white space. But it's not necessarily white. It has all of the different things that you need. And it doesn't like load up like in the game. I mean, I guess maybe yours could because it's unique to you. And I imagine that you could. I follow a fellow YouTuber and also we're friends on Facebook and stuff like that. But he's built his mental temple in Minecraft and he's recreated it there so that he could literally, not literally because it's still in whatever, but so it's recreatable in that way, I guess. And that works for him. And so everybody kind of has their own way of interacting. For me personally, when I first went into my mental temple, I was so caught off guard that I didn't even believe that it was my mental temple. I was like, this can't be real. And I almost created like this facade mental temple that I wanted my mental temple and I thought my mental temple would look like. Because when I went into my mental temple, I was underwater. And the panic of being underwater initially, you can't breathe underwater, but you have to let go of all of that because it's a different space. It's in your mind. But anyway, so recently I had an epiphany in my mental temple, an addition, I guess. Not just an epiphany, but an addition in my mental temple. So I have a garden. My mental temple is 3 islands around an ocean. Or in an ocean with like a center space. And then the center space is where my initial mental temple was, like underneath the water there. Then you come up and there are islands, each serve a different purpose. And on one of the islands, there is a garden. Now, as I said that, the reason I paused while I was talking is because it's not like I could say island number 1 contains this, this, and this. And island number 2 contains this, this, and this. And island number 3 contains, it's not I know that one of the islands is a starting off point for guided meditations. And so if I'm going to go on a guided meditation, either be it like one that's pre-recorded or one that I've written or one that has like a spirit guide is taking me on, then that is where I set forth in that island. So maybe that island is connected to the spiritual realm. I guess it is, like they all are, I guess. Anyways, one of the islands, the top of them is a temple, literally a temple to the gods. But I can't say it's that one if I'm sitting in the middle. It just happens. I just happen upon there. So when I just happen into the garden, it is a place where I work with my ancestors and also work with the energies of like my coven and outside energies and that kind of energy. I guess it's where I work with external energies in my own mental temple and kind of where my mental temple and my physical world come together. So in that thought, okay, so we have that thought. We're on the mental temple. Now, sidetrack. I was doing some meditating on what I'm going to do this spring and how I'm going to move forward and the progressions that I'm going to have and how I'm going to move past some things. And I was like, what? So I'm sitting there. I'm like, what lesson do I need to learn from this that is keeping me from moving forward? Like, what is the lesson? 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 And aside from coming back to magical interference from third parties and, obviously dealing with remorse and grief. Grief is a better word. There's some remorse, but mostly grief. Anyways, so dealing with all of those things and setting this, I'm like, okay, yeah, but what is the lesson? Because there's a reason. I'm a big believer in reasons. Nothing happens on accident. And so I'm like, why? Why does this keep coming to me? And I was just like, in that moment, I was like, I wish I could just like throw it away. Be like, psh, I'm done with this. But the problem is there is so much attached. I can't just throw it away. And so I was like, I need to compost it. And then it was just like, it was in my mental temple because it just happens. Because I was already in my meditative state. So then now I moved to my mental temple. I'm like, a compost. And there it is. It's a compost. Ironically, it looks exactly like the compost my husband built for me, which is like a pallets that have been cut in half and back together to make a square. It's awesome. I love it. Anyway, so it looks just like that. And I was like, bam, put these thoughts into the compost. And as I put the thoughts into the compost, I said, look, the energy that needs to be used again and the lessons that I've learned from this, let's take them, let's put them into the garden to grow and to fertilize and to continue forward. But the things that I don't need, that are trash, they can be composted and taken out and I can move forward. So now whenever I have those moments where I'm just like, I can't get this out of my head, bam, put it in the composter. And it's super productive. And from like a counseling, psychological kind of perspective, it's just like, so I've tried the journaling, which is what I'm going to say. So it's just like journaling it and getting it out and putting it somewhere else and letting your brain just work that out. And that hadn't worked. I've done all of these different things. I was like, just compost it. That's it. Compost it. There's nothing at this point that I can do. I've learned lessons. I've learned lots of lessons. I have all of these great things, and that's beautiful and wonderful. And I'm going to take all of those, and I'm going to use them in my garden in the future and to help blossom into something new and get rid of the things that I don't need. So I added that little piece to my mental temple. So it was a great moment of epiphany. But then after I was done, I was like, this is great, and I've been using it. I was like, I have to share this. Too often when we're doing magic or we're doing things, we get caught in this routine. And we're doing the same thing, we're doing the same thing, we're doing the same thing. And we forget to grow. We forget to allow that growth. We forget to see that growth. And you have to stop and give yourself that credit. You have to stop and give that moment and see that growth and allow that to happen and move forward and allow there to be change. And this is the perfect time to allow those changes to happen. It's springtime. It's the new season. We're starting fresh. We're moving forward. So let it happen. Spend time in your mental temple and see what new things appear. If you've never spent time in your mental temple, this is a great time to start one. And it's I don't know if you can hear that. The parking lot that I'm in this evening, because it's still light outside, is hopping and a bopping. Oh yeah, I got the microphone. I don't think you can hear it. Anyways, it's really distracting to me. There's a guy screaming people's names across the parking lot. Anyway, see, if I was one of those people who edited the videos, I would cut that out and you would see like a nifty little, you probably wouldn't even notice the switch. But anyway, so spend time in your mental tempo. If you've never been there, it can be like almost like an intimidating dawn, like, oh, what does it look like? It's exciting. It's something new. To go there, I would honestly say very similar to the Matrix. In that, go to your blank space. Ground, get comfortable, be somewhere where you can spend some time there and relax and clear your mind and let that come and see nothing. And then say, in your mind's eye, in your third, in that meditative presence, you need like a word for that. Maybe there is a word for that being, like, if not, we need to make one up. So if you have some idea, you let me know. Or if you know what that body is called, like what that presence is called, in your third eye state, in your meditative body, say, I want to be in my mental temple. And then just sit back and let it materialize in front of you, in front of that being, and see what comes to you and see what it is. I've talked to people whose mental temple is a house. I've talked to people whose mental temple is a cave. I've talked to people all kinds of things. Like I said, my mental temple is these different places, and each one is unique because you are unique. And so you're going to see something that is completely specific to you. And sorry, there was a warning about microphone or whatnot. I don't know. Hopefully there's not a problem. We'll see. Anyways, let your mental temple come to you. Let it be what it is that is for you, and don't assume before you go there. And let it grow. Let it change. Let it grow as you grow. If you haven't been to your mental temple in a while, now is a great time to go. Sit down. Again, go to your mental temple and see it and be like, hey, is there something new? Where have I grown? Speak with your spirit guides. Use this as your in-between place and spend time there. The more time that we spend in this meditative, spiritual place, the easier it is to call on that energy when you're doing prayer, when you're doing magic, when you're doing any of those kind of things, when you're honoring the gods, whatever your spiritual moment is happening. Practice. We have to practice, and your mental temple is a great place to practice. It's also a great place to deal with things, to work things out, to learn things, to speak with your spiritual guides, and be present in your own spirituality, in your own spiritual being. So, yeah, just as always, if you have any questions, or if you know what that spiritual being, body, entity, aspect of yourself is called, that'd be awesome. Let me know. If not, like I said, we need to come up with something. Also, tell me what is new and happening with you. have you had a new epiphany in your mental temple? Have you never been to your mental temple? All of those great things. So I hope everybody is having a fantastic evening, and I will. Oh, yeah, I know I said I would do the moon video, and I will do the moon video tomorrow morning. It will happen because I need all my paperwork, and I have to look all that over and see what else is going on. I don't think there's any retrogrades right now. I think we're pretty clean of retrogrades, which is kind of an interesting energy with everything moving forward. So I'll have to look into all of that. So, many blessings to all of you. I hope you're having a fantastic evening. And if you're not already subscribed, subscribe, all that hot jazz. And I will talk to you soon.